Can you believe the Wolfman is still howling? The Wolfman is a name that resonates with horror fans across the world. The iconic transformation of a man into a monster wolf, driven by the forces beyond his control, is one of the most enduring images in cinema history. Yet, the story of the Wolfman is far more than just a simple werewolf tale. It's a tragedy of fate, humanity, and the terrifying consequences of forces beyond human comprehension. Larry Talbot, portrayed by the legendary Lon Chaney Jr., has haunted our screens for over 80 years, from the 1941 film The Wolfman to Universal's ongoing plans to reimagine and reboot the film series this year in a few weeks in January of 2025, all while continuing to influence pop culture and theme parks. What began as one man's struggle to escape his curse has grown into a sprawling legacy evolving through the decades, including sequels, reboots, and new multimedia experiences. The journey of the Wolfman begins in the early 20th century with Universal Studios' decision to expand its monster franchise beyond the success of Dracula and Frankenstein. While these films were based on existing literary works, the Wolfman's story was unique. Its roots lay not in any novel or ancient myth, but in the minds of screenwriters. In particular, one screenwriter, Kurt Siodmak, crafted the legendary transformation and lure that was central to the character's identity. The 1941 film The Wolfman was born from his fresh take of werewolf mythology and iconic ideas of werewolves. He took those concepts and built in new and unique aspects, like the full moon as the trigger for the transformation, as well as silver bullets being the means to stop the creature. Universal would task Lon Chaney to bring the tragic figure to life. Through his role, Chaney was able to redevelop the werewolf character on screen. Though he was not the first werewolf ever to be portrayed on screen, that distinction goes to Henry Hole in The Werewolf of London from 1935. It was Lon Chaney's portrayal of the character that made their werewolf immortal in the minds of horror fans everywhere. Chaney's portrayal of the tragic, cursed man doomed to transform into a vicious, uncontrollable monster each full moon struck a chord with audiences. The plot of The Wolfman follows Larry, the son of a wealthy man in Wales, who returns home after many years and becomes cursed by a werewolf. He becomes a werewolf as he was attacked by a wolf, and in a desperate attempt to defend himself, he kills it with a silver-headed cane, only to realize he too had been inherited with the curse. The tragic irony is that Talbot is inherently a good man, but his uncontrollable transformation turns him into a monster beyond any means and force. It's a true internal battle within his own good nature and good spirit versus vicious monster that wants to come out. The film's tragic tone, paired with its groundbreaking makeup and special effects, marked The Wolfman as one of the central pillars for the Universal Classic Monster series. Alongside Frankenstein, Dracula, and the Mummy, this portrayal put the Wolfman on the map. After the success of The Wolfman in 1941, Universal quickly realized they had a winner on their hands. They didn't want the story to end. Instead, they wanted to build out an entire universe. With films like Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman in 1943, this would mark the crossover era for the Universal monsters. This would be where character and monster matchups would continue to happen year after year. Other monster crossovers would be House of Frankenstein, House of Dracula, and the Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein comedy film. All of these had these characters building a universe together. However, the Wolfman would never have his own standalone solo film ever again after his first one in 1941. The story of Larry Talbot would never continue, but there'd be other Wolfman movies to come, either within the Universal franchise or outside of it. The 21st century saw a resurgence of interest in the Universal monsters, but with a far more modern approach. In 2010, Universal Pictures produced a remake of The Wolfman, starring Benicio del Toro as Lawrence Talbot and Anthony Hopkins playing his father. The film followed the same basic premise as the original, but updated it with more modern special effects and added a darker tone. Despite the film's star-studded cast and efforts to modernize the material, The Wolfman from 2010 was met with mixed reviews and underperformed greatly at the box office. It was one of the key reasons why Universal started to rethink their Monsters and Dark universe again. However, it did win an Academy Award for Best Makeup. The 2010 remake, though not a massive success, did reignite interest in the Wolfman and would lead to several more spin-offs and reboots to be discussed within Universal's larger Dark Universe initiative. In 2017, they would try creating The Mummy again. Based off the original Mummy and the Brendan Fraser films, they would create this new film within a dark universe, which they wanted to create a new cinematic universe with. However, like the 2010 The Wolfman film, the 2017 Mummy, starring Tom Cruise, was a colossal failure and would once again have Universal going back to the drawing board. Now, in 2025, Universal is ready to breathe new life into their Wolfman once again with a new reboot coming out this month. This version will star Christopher Abbott as Blake, a family man who relocates to Oregon and becomes cursed by a werewolf. This would come into a new style and modernize the story. The story promises to revisit the tragic themes around the original but add a new, fresh, modern spin. The new film will release on January 17th, 2025, and will have Ryan Gosling's name attached as a producer. There's high expectations for this film, and their thoughts are this will be one of the key aspects for Universal to reboot the Universal Monsters. This is also being paired with the new Epic Universe and Monsters universe within the Epic Universe theme park coming to the Orlando area. The Wolfman is even getting his own ride, and it's creating this dark universe land within the Epic Universe. The Wolfman's ride will be called Curse of the Werewolf, and it will be an interesting ride setting forth a terrifying legend of the Wolfman and bringing the character to life for guests coming to visit. We don't have that many details about this iconic ride with this iconic Universal character, but the expectation is that it will be thrilling. The overall thought process of the Wolfman is to bring it to life once again for new audiences. The film was a fantastic masterpiece in 1941 and had several strong spin-offs. However, it's been a long time since Universal's been successfully able to bring to life their characters to the big screen and into theme parks. Though the characters have had success during Halloween Horror Nights at Universal, there is still something missing with these characters, and the thought is revitalizing these movies and bringing the characters to life within Epic Universe will once again bring relevance to the Universal Dark Universe or Universal Monsters universe. Let us know in the comments below what you think. We want to hear from all of you. Are you excited for the reboot of these characters? Thank you so much for watching Believable Truths.